Following us on ESPN, a top 20 women's hoops matchup, TCU NC State. TCU 3-0. They've been led by Olivia Miles, averaging 18 and 8 per game. Alex, your thoughts?
Yeah, these two are phenomenal young quarterbacks. I mean, point guards. Check this out, Randy. Check out the arms on these two. Zoe Brooks and Olivia Miles. Look at the vision, and then, I mean, single arm pass all the way down the court. I mean,
what a dime.
I like it. And then matched on the other side, not to be outdone. We got an arm ourselves. Look at the little no-looker right here. Down low.
Yeah.
I mean, so good. Can't wait for this matchup.
That one's following us.
All right, ladies, I see you.
ESPN.
Welcome to the ACC on ESPN, and welcome inside Reynolds Coliseum, where they love to get red and get rowdy. And they will be both this afternoon for our top 20 showdown. It's NC State hosting TCU. A couple of programs with the star power ready to shine today, and what they hope will be a long journey towards the Final Four next spring. Olivia Miles is in the house in a new uniform. A tough test against Zoe Brooks and NC State, winners of 24 in a row here at home on K-Yow Court. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Beth Mowens alongside Andrea Carter. It is a Wolfpack squad that has already been tested. Their third top 25 game of the season. First big-time matchup today for TCU.
And that's the million-dollar question. Which of these teams is more prepared for this moment? A young NC State team or the oldest team in college basketball in TCU on the road? And my eyes go straight to the point guard. And it's a football Sunday, and everybody knows point guards are like quarterbacks on the court. They read the defense, they call the plays, they determine who gets the ball where it needs to be. Zoe Brooks is that for NC State, now shouldering more responsibilities, having to be a scorer and playmaker, and the primary one on her team. She's crafty, she is skilled, she has to play with confidence. And Olivia Miles, who has been here before but is now in a different uniform, one of the craftiest players, flashiest players on the court. Behind the back pass, no look pass, over the shoulder pass, any pass you can think of, she's got it in her bag.
Miles, one of the biggest offseason moves from Notre Dame to Fort Worth. Good numbers to start. Zoe Brooks has already flirted with a triple-double in the early part of this season. Quality quarterbacks on display. Can the Horned Frogs win a non-conference road game against a ranked opponent for the first time in 15 years? Last season, they used a November win over NC State to springboard them to their best season in school history. Zam Jones will pull up and take the first shot of the day off the mark, and it will stay at this end. Starting five for NC State, they got to replace three starters, but with Zoe and Zam, it's one of the best backcourts in the country. Camille Pierre is a 20-point scorer who transferred in from Vandy.
That's the question for this NC State team. Sanaya Rivers, Isaiah James. So those two in particular had so much when it came to this team, the energy they played with on both ends of the floor. NC State's still figuring out where that's going to come from.
Multiple chances for State, they come up wanting. The starting five for TCU reached the Elite Eight a year ago and lost four starters, but they picked up three big transfers. Can they match what they did a year ago with a 30-win season and a Big 12 regular season and tournament title? Here's Cadence Samuels, the transfer from UConn, and she drains the triple for Wes Moore's club. All NC State has done is won 5 ACC titles in the last 6 years.
And a huge shot for Cadence Samuels, but you see Olivia Miles, that is what she does. She takes what the defense gives you, gets in high, kissing that basketball off the glass.
TCU able to counter with their first bucket and a 2 from Miles. Tilda Trieger, really improved post player for NC State, and this is Brooks, which she does best, off the bounce, hard off the rim there. And here comes Miles, projected to be a top 5 pick in the WNBA draft next season. She had a list that she gave us yesterday at practice of what she wants to improve so she's ready at the pro level.
Yeah, Olivia Miles was very candid with us, talking about last season. She felt like she was not a great leader, and she also was not in great shape.
Yep.
She said she couldn't be a two-way player, didn't play hard on the defensive end, and actually noted the double overtime game that Notre Dame faced here against NC State, and said she had to be taken off the floor because she couldn't sustain the energy late in that game.
She scored 22, but they lost in extra, and a foul on the drive. This is going to be interesting with Plata Silva at 6'7" and Trieger at 6'6". The two Europeans going head-to-head today. First on Tilda. Silva from Portugal, who transferred in from Kentucky.
Marta Suarez shooting these free throws, another transfer for this TCU team, something that TCU has been known for, bringing in multiple transfers year after year and having starting lineups with first or second year transfers made up entirely.
Suarez is the grad student Spaniard who gets TCU the early advantage. Here is Pierre, mid-range 15-footer, no. It's an NC State team through 3 games that's only been shooting less than 40% from the floor. And here is Suarez again on the drive, goes to the left side.
And that is what TCU's offense has been known for. Threes and layups. They spread you out because multiple players can knock down the three, but that creates space on the inside to get to the rim.
This is a team that loves to shoot the three, a lot of 4-out pick and roll for their shooters. Jones on the drive, the scoop won't go, and they start out the day 1 for 7. Suarez pull up, around and out. Silva will get him another chance, and then the pass into the backcourt. 37th year as a head coach, 13th at NC State, coaching his 300th game here. Only Gino Auriemma has more career wins amongst active coaches than Wes.
Talked to Wes about this team and how he's still trying to figure out how to get them to put the pieces together. Likes the pieces that he has. Obviously missing 3 players that are playing at the next level.
Zam, boy, a cold start for NC State, but they are crashing the glass to get more looks. Brooks will step back for 3.
And Beth, that was a smart closeout by Maddie Shear on Zoe Brooks. Not known for her 3-point shooting. She likes to get into the paint, so Maddie Shear gave her some space, made her settle for that last 3.
Trieger off the ball fake, rejected by Silva.
You mentioned it earlier, a sneaky good battle between these two bigs. 6'6", 6'7", Plata Silva reaching over the top, clean block. And this is a big role for Plata Silva. Played behind Clara Strack at Kentucky, very limited minutes. Would get into the game sparingly now in a starting position at TCU.
That can be the positive of the portal, right? You get an opportunity for more playing time, a bigger role in a new place. Miles with the rebound, and here comes Maddie Shear. Nice bounce pass, Silva wide open. They assist on 70% of their baskets. And 25 assists per game averaging early on as a team.
And it's the spacing. It's why one-on-one defense is so important, because when you have to help, someone's open.
Trieger from deep. Wow, there is a chill in the air for NC State. 1 for a dozen to open up the day. Miles off balance. And it looks like NC State got a piece of it. And she is still down on the deck. Landed hard, looked like on her back. Nobody happier than the TCU bench to see her get up. Mark Campbell was telling us yesterday at their practice, the TCU point guard has a lot of responsibilities. Everything runs through her. Actually, looks like maybe landed awkwardly on her shoulder. But the wind knocked out of her, perhaps. Going to stay out there. They expect her to play a lot of minutes this year running that point.
It's something that Mark Campbell talked to us about, how everything now has to go through Olivia Miles. Whereas, you know, last season at Notre Dame, she had Hannah Hidalgo, Sonia Citron, pieces around her, and some familiarity. Different this season. She has more on her shoulders.
Oh, pretty spin by Suarez, trying to scoop it up. Pierre was right there with her. And then the steal by Shear of the outlet pass. Missed the layup, and a foul on Donovan Hunter. That's her first.
It's important this possession, Beth, for NC State to get ball movement. Ball movement, a ball reversal, a quality look at the basket.
And the crowd is getting antsy. Just one bucket through 5 minutes of play, and still nothing doing. Samuels keeps it alive. Pierre, the nice bounce to Trieger, who's turned away. Brooks takes it inside, and that one finally will fall. Junior out of Plainfield, New Jersey, the most improved player in the ACC a year ago. And a much bigger role for her this year. Hunter kicks it out. Miles 3 no good. Weak side rebound. Shearer will try and hit it.
One of the best opportunities for three-point shooting is off of an offensive rebound. The defense is scrambling. Everybody's in the paint. Maddie Shear gets there, sets her feet, knocks it down.
Brooks will try and match it. That's short. Yeah, they call Shear their sniper. She was 6 for 6 in their last game. That one's off the mark. One thing with NC State, you don't always get a lot of stoppages in play. They don't foul a lot. They usually don't turn it over a lot. Amongst the best in the country at both of those a year ago. Here's Pierre, tough step back on the fade. Suarez right in her grill.
It's excellent defense by Marta Suarez. Build a wall, let Camille Pierre shoot that 1 foot leaner. That's a tough shot.
The pick and the roll around and out. Pierre, knocked loose by Suarez.
3 times Camille Pierre trying to go one-on-one against Suarez, and 3 times Marta Suarez winning that battle. What does TCU love to do? They are a 3-and-D team. They like layups and they like 3-pointers. And if they go for the layup and you collapse, then they can dump it off to their teammates. Easy offense for TCU. That's what they do.
Let's take you back 364 days ago. Early season showdown in Fort Worth, Sedona Prince. This was probably one of the biggest wins in school history at the time. She had 31. Isaiah James with 27. The Pack rallied late but came up just short in a 76-73 TCU win. And that was the springboard. 34 wins, the most ever. They dominated in the Big 12. 9 wins over the top 25 in that first trip to the Elite Eight.
And I love what Mark Campbell said before this season. He said that 34-4 team, that's not here anymore. That was a magical season, but he felt like this group was starting from ground zero.
Trieger making the play defensively.
It's a nice job by Tilda Trieger, sliding her feet, clean block at the top, the verticality there to get the block.
And a quick whistle on Kaishi Lunan, the freshman from Arizona. State Player of the Year out there, holding on to Miles. TCU, the preseason favorites again in the Big 12 with Iowa State and Baylor. Baylor's already collected a big win over Duke, and Audi Crooks off to a great start for Iowa State. Big girl in the middle. Silva trying to get around Trieger and gets the bounce. She's got 4. Lunin, quick off the dribble and the pull-up around and out.
That's not a bad look. Not a bad look. You get the screen, nice shot into her dribble pull-up.
Miles, wild shot and draws the foul. And she'll get a trip to the line. And that is the second on Samuels. Oh, check that first. So for Olivia Miles, all ACC performer at Notre Dame. We know how good of a passer she is. She has 6 career triple doubles. Biggest thing I think was when she was hurt for a year, she really improved her outside shooting.
Was so impressed by Olivia Miles and her coming back from her injury and missing a season and being a completely different player from beyond the arc, and her ability to now knock down threes. We saw it last season. Opens up the floor for her crafty passing for getting into the paint, because you have to defend her beyond the arc.
And Brooks fouled at the other end. That'll be the second on Donovan Hunter. Now, they've called the first foul publicly here, but I think they missed one earlier. We're going to double check that, and now we can confirm that is her second. She's going to stay in the ball game. I'm not sure if TCU is aware of that just yet. Suarez spinning, stripped loose by Lunin, and here comes Brooks. This is NC State at its best, in transition, and Brooks drives and draws the foul on Taylor Bigby.
That is exactly what Westmore wants from this team. Get a stop on one end. Marta Suarez trying to go one-on-one. That was good help by Lunin, so that NC State can get out and run. Their transition offense can be dangerous because they're still working on their half-court offensive chemistry.
Hey, we got more college hoops coming your way later today. Over on ESPN2 for the women, it's number 22 Louisville taking on Clemson, also available on the all-new ESPN app. Taj Roberts, Laura Siegler, and the ranked Cardinals ready to go to work as Samuels spins and scores. She's got 5, and that'll bring the crowd back into it a bit. Maddie Cox now defending on Basham.
Great straight-up defense by Cox, and now NC State can run.
Zoe Brooks cannot get that one to drop. She has started out 1 for 5. Miles takes a bump, dishes to Hunter, around and out. Samuels pull-up 3 in transition.
2 missed opportunities for NC State. Zoe Brooks settled for the mid-range shot, and then Kaden Samuels settling for the 3.
Two-man game on this side, Bigby and Basham. And Brooks boards.
If you're NC State, you'll take that, a mid-range jump shot, because what does TCU like? They like threes and they like layups. It's a great head fake by Bigby, but that mid-range shot, that works in NC State's favor.
10 on the shot clock here to end the quarter. Brooks drives, scoops it up, one-handed and in, and a push here for Miles if she can get it. And they've turned it over with .9 to go, and NC State will have a chance to get one up. This could be a big 4-point finish, or 5. Time to catch and shoot. Good if it goes, got it! Trigger rattles it in!
left. It was all TCU early, but NC State finding momentum late. Tilda Trigger, 1 foot, eyes find the rim. Bottom of the net, 2-point game.
Ooh, NC State. I feel like you're like getting sat on top of by all these fans. It's kind of crazy.
NC State, their fans, and just the atmosphere is just so loud.
You feel like the fans are on top of you, so it's really loud. So oftentimes I say to my team, like, you're on your own because we can't hear each other.
Okay, our fans are beefing. It gets dangerous in NC State, but that's the toughest place to play for sure.
Oh, they get red and they get raucous here at K-Al Court. The longest active home winning streaks. Norfolk State at the top, TCU and Texas right behind. But NC State has won 24 in a row here. Andrea undefeated here a year ago. And they got loud at the end of that quarter on an 8-0 run for NC State. They were down by as many as 10 early. Donovan Hunter's runner is good.
It's a nice move by Donovan Hunter, but going back to this Coliseum, it feels like the fans are right on top of you. It gets so loud, and if you're in that NC State huddle, you want to say that to each other. Let's get our fans excited.
Slow start shooting for the Wolfpack, but 4 unanswered points within the last 2 seconds for NC State. Got him right back in it. Working inside, Collier to the left hand, that won't go. And Devin Quigley able to get in there and keep it alive amongst 3 black jerseys. Quigley was terrific off the bench in 25 minutes against Southern Cal at 9 points and 4 boards.
Had a 20-point game last season as a freshman. Hoping to improve her ball handling. She wants more consistent minutes. At NC State, they're looking for that third guard. Yeah. They have Zam Jones, they have Zoe Brooks, but they need production from someone else.
They are looking for some depth. Certainly not as deep a year ago, but they'd love to create some. Here's Miles with the push. All 5 starters have scored for TCU. Silva, good dig down by Lunan to knock it loose. And here comes Brooks. An early season win against Tennessee, a loss to USC, so their 3rd ranked opponent already in 4 games. Lunan, what a spin, gets to the left side. The freshman strutting her stuff.
So much potential for Kaishi Lunan. Name is Kaishi. It is a playoff of Kyrie Irving, who is her favorite player. Her dad nicknamed her Kaishi, and she is an athlete.
Suarez knocks down the 3. They're averaging 12 per game early on this season. Marta's got 7 points.
Something to keep an eye on in this game. NC State only knocking down 4 threes a game on average. That's a big difference between the 2 styles.
Cox trying to sneak through the baseline. Silva is there. Loose ball comes out to Quigley. Got to get a shot up. Collier in time to beat the shot clock buzzer.
It's a good, quick decision by NC State, getting the ball back up. Now here's where you need a defensive stop. Look at the effort from Lunan on Miles.
Suarez will try again. There's Brooks, 2 on 4. They'll jack it anyways. Transition 3 for Maddie Cox. Suarez walked. And the Wolfpack have erased a double-digit deficit and now have a chance for the lead.
This is what you want if you're NC State. Give the fans something to cheer about. Look at the spin. Eyes on the rim for the finish. But it's the defensive stops that have been crucial so far for NC State as well. Offensive flow coming off of the defensive stops.
Shooting 50% here in this second quarter. Offensive rebound. Quigley falling away and knocking it down. That was the 9th O board for NC State. Shear trying to knock it off of NC State. They have more turnovers than baskets here in the quarter. Luden. And Reynolds is rocking.
Transition offense for NC State. Look at the effort defensively here. It's a tough finish by Olivia Miles.
Miles knew she had to get to the right side to beat the defender. And then gets the steal. Running the floor is Silva, and she is rewarded by Miles.
And that's the response you want from your point guard. NC State has all the momentum. What does she do? She gets to her right hand and finishes, and then in transition, hits Silva for the easy layup just to settle the team back in.
Olivia now 6 points, 4 rebounds. That was her first assist of the day. Pierre chases it down. Trieger wide open look.
The offensive rebounding for NC State. TCU has to figure out a way to keep Pierre especially, but everybody off the glass.
10 second chance points for NC State. Well, Pierre almost got the pick. Silva. Short. A lot of handwork there from Trieger. Pierre keeping that dribble alive in the wraparound. Her first bucket.
Camille Pierre likes the ISO game. That's a good attack baseline. Keeps it in her right hand for the finish. And this is where if you're TCU, they need to execute offensively. Ball screen action is what they're known for, but NC State has been icing it so Miles can't come off of it.
Suarez, she'll spin into the lane. Nice move, ducks under Pierre. She's got 9 here in the first half for TCU. Trieger, 3, got it. Go under a screen against the 6'6" Swede, and you're in trouble.
She will make you pay. 43% from 3. She is a pick and pop threat. Some post pick and roll. Tilda Trieger picks and pops and can knock it down.
And then Miles able to draw the foul on the drive.
Last season, NC State didn't often play through their bigs, but Camille Pierre transfers in, and she is a big that NC State can go to. Isolation game here, a little wraparound for the reverse layup finish, and Tilda Trieger, a sophomore now, bigger responsibilities and a pick and pop threat, knocks it down. The bigs are rolling for the Wolfpack.
Taylor Tannenbaum, Rebecca Lobo coming up on your Jeep halftime report. UConn's early season dominance continues. We'll look back at the week that was, but a fun one right now in Raleigh. What are you seeing, Rebecca?
It took NC State a quarter to find their footing, but their footing, they want it to be fast, and they've been able to get some turnovers, get out in transition. They look a lot better when they're moving up quickly down the floor.
Yeah, they're hanging on to a lead now. Beth Drea, I don't know if you can hear us because it sounds loud there in Raleigh right now.
We got you, Taylor. And what Rebecca was talking about, look at that. Since the slow start, they've hit 10 of their last 16 shots. They've been able to get up and down the floor. And their bench, 11 points. They've had 4 kids come in off the bench, and all of them have scored.
And give Westmore credit. After the loss to USC, he said maybe he should have went to his bench more, and he's done that here in the first half. Kaishi Lunan has been huge. Maddie Cox getting opportunities. Mallory Collier with opportunities. They've already played more minutes in this half than they did in the entire game against USC.
And meanwhile, for TCU, the 3 starting transfers have carried the load for them in this first half. Lorena Awu bottled up and a 3-second violation. But Suarez, Silva, and Miles, 23 of their 28 points here in the first half.
I've really enjoyed the battle, Marta Suarez and Camille Pierre going at it. And this is where one-on-one defense for NC State is so important. Look at Kaishi Lunan icing that screen.
Trying to find Basham inside. It comes out to Bigby. No reset on the shot clock, so it is down to 10. A lot of dribble, drive, and pitch it back out for TCU. Miles, nice shoulder shimmy. And a weak side board.
Disappointing if you're an NC State fan, because that's great defense. And make Olivia Miles set her for a tough shot, a tough 3. You'll take that, but they give up the O board.
Hunter on the drive. And another shot at it. Under 2 to go in the first half, and Suarez hits the 3.
When you give a team with as many offensive weapons like TCU, and you give them 3 opportunities, they are going to make you pay.
Suarez already has a pair of 19-point games and 12 for her here in the first half for the transfer from Cal. Zam Jones steps back outside, 0 for 5. She's scoreless in the half and will stay that way.
A great closeout by Caden Samuels. Was in the paint for the post until she got able to recover out.
Miles again, they're forcing her to stay on the left side of the floor. 5 on the shot clock. Hunter looking for a screen. The deep penetration along the baseline for the pull-up. 7-0 run here for TCU, and they are back in front. Had to hustle for a 2-for-1 opportunity, and that may have gone away.
Zam Jones frustrated with the physicality. Looking at the referees, has to play through it.
Jones short on the shot. Awu blocked by Basham and a foul. The 12th offensive rebound of the half for NC State.
Give Awu credit. Mentioned her not playing in that USC game. Ton of contact there from Basham all over her arm.
Got a terrific men's college basketball lineup coming your way on ESPN and the all-new ESPN app. Coming up next, number 1 Houston and number 22 Auburn. A couple of teams in the Final Four a year ago. They lead the way. Florida, the defending champs, on the night side tonight on ESPN. So final 15 seconds of the half. Possession and a 2-point lead for Miles and TCU.
For a high ball screen here for Miles.
There it is, trying to work off of it. Suarez deep, 3, banks it in, and shouts at the NC State bench on the backside of that. 15 in the first half for Marta Suarez.
2 on the ball. You see Caden Samuels comes in to give attention to Olivia Miles, and Miles finds Marta Suarez. So watch Caden Samuels help in on strong side. Marta Suarez, a deep 3 off the glass. She has been on fire in this first half.
36-31, TCU with the lead on the road against NC State here at Reynolds Coliseum as we get you back to the studio with Taylor and Rebecca.
Welcome into your Jeep halftime report. I am Taylor Tannenbaum alongside the Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo. All right, back and forth first half there in Raleigh right now. TCU with a lead over NC State. What have the Horned Frogs done in the first half to separate themselves?
Well, first of all, a really fun game. It's fun to see these matchups early in the ranked matchups early in the season. But what TCU did well early, you heard Drea talking about it that entire first half, is they played to their strength. They wanted to either get in the paint or take threes. So how do they do that? Well, you have to respect that they can make threes. They make double-digit threes per game. Ball fake, drive inside. That gets them to the layup that they want to get. Again, pushing out in transition. They want to play fast. A great job getting the paint touch and then the drop pass. And then you heard Drea talking about it in the first half as well. Offensive rebounds, passing out for the three-pointer. They did that multiple times in the first half to get themselves good looks. Where was NC State really good? When they could get a turnover on one end or even a defensive board and able to push the pace. Then their guards could go to their strength, their quickness on the perimeter, get by defenders, get inside. We saw the great shot by Trieger at the end of the first quarter as well. But when NC State played fast, didn't get bogged down in the quarter court, they were much more effective, much more efficient. And then when TCU was able to get paint touches and either score or spray out, they had success.
I have a feeling this one's going to go down to the wire. Inevitably, what do you think, Rebecca, will be the differentiator at the end?
I think it's going to be who can take best control of the basketball. It was relatively good in the first half in terms of neither team being super high turnover. Also, can TCU find their groove from the three-point line? Because when they hit double-digit threes, they're really tough to beat.
Marta Suarez right now leading for TCU with 15.7 points for Tilda Trieger to pace the NC State Wolfpack. And you talked about it, Rebecca. Those threes got to be falling for TCU. Marta Suarez with 3 of them in the first half for TCU. A little bit more on the other side of your Jeep halftime report.
This halftime report is presented by Jeep. There's only one.
It's Tilda Trieger with a 3 there for NC State. They trail 5 at halftime. Thanks for watching the Jeep halftime report. We'll see you after.
This halftime report is presented by Jeep. There's only one.
Welcome back to K-Out Court here at Reynolds Coliseum. It's the ACC on ESPN. TCU up at the half over NC State. Hey, everybody, Beth Mullins alongside Andrea Carter. Even though State trails in this one, they've been doing a pretty good job keeping Olivia Miles in check on the offensive end.
Yeah, how to contain Olivia Miles. That's the million-dollar question. And for NC State, how have they been able to do it? They have been icing the ball screen. So watch Kaishi Lunan. She sits on top of the ball screen, forcing Olivia Miles to the sideline, not letting Miles go to the middle. Same thing here. That should be a middle ball screen, but because Kaishi is icing it, forcing Olivia Miles left. Olivia Miles just 8 points and 2 assists in that first half. But you said it, TCU is in the lead because of the play of Marta Suarez. NC State has not had an answer for Suarez. 5 of 9 from the field, 3 of 6 from beyond the arc. She's attacked off the bounce. She's gotten to the rim. She's knocked down threes. She has done everything. And defensively, she has won the matchup against Camille Pierre as well.
15 points for Suarez, 8 points for Miles with a couple of assists. Zoe Brooks, 6 points, 6 rebounds. The NC State bench has been productive. TCU on a 10-0 run into the locker room. One thing to keep an eye on, 3 starters, Suarez, Hunter, and Miles, played the full 20 minutes in that first half. Underway in the second. NC State, a 24-game home court win streak on the line. And TCU trying to beat a ranked team on the road, non-conference, for the first time in 15 years. Here's Sam Jones, struggled shooting the ball in that first half, and her first shot is off the mark. She is 0 for 8 now on the day.
Sam Jones trying to keep Olivia Miles from using the screen. I mentioned the offensive struggles. She can try to get herself going defensively with some energy.
Silva steps to the left side and scores over Trieger. That terrific battle inside of 6'7" and 6'6". She now has 8 points. Suarez was there defensively on Pierre. They'll try Camille again, and she took an extra step.
See, on that, if you're NC State, Beth, just get a ball reversal. They get the ball on the left side, nothing happens, kick it back out, and they go right back to the left side instead. Get a ball reversal, make TCU work on the defensive end.
Camille Pierre still trying to score with contact. She does not get to the free throw line a ton. Miles, the fade is short.
And that's the defensive energy I'm talking about from Zam Jones. Offensively, she is struggling, but staying in front of Olivia Miles. Make Olivia Miles settle for that shot. She's fading backwards, leaning away from the basket. NC State will take that all day.
Sign of her maturity now in her sophomore season after a terrific freshman year. Doing some of the other things if the shooting is off. And here is Zam with the Trigger screen, the hesitation. Pierre going inside, Silva able to bother. Hunter tried to get it back to Suarez, and Zam knocks it out.
Really good defense by Clara Silva on the opposite side. High hands, keeps her feet moving.
On the inbound, here's Maddie Shear. Missed all of last season with an injury. Still trying to find her rhythm and her routine. Miles. TCU likes some of those one-handed shots. They have not been falling today.
And these are the shots that are probably a lot easier in their first 3 games, where they won by an average of 55 points.
Yes.
This is a different level here.
Brooks trying to get into the big girl. And Silva has another rebound. 6 for Clara to go along with her 8 points. Calling for it inside. Nice spin to the baseline. Gave up a 2 for a look from 3.
The next level for Clara Silva is just finishing there. See how much space she had. Paint is wide open because of the 3-point shooting.
Trigger! Transition 3 out of the trail, and she's got 10. Her second triple of the day.
Speaking of 3-point shooting, what a luxury it is to have your big trailing and able to step in and knock that down.
The pick and the roll, and Miles can't connect with Silva.
Tilda Trigger stepping right into the trail spot. And when you're a 5, you're a center. Clara Silva is used to staying in the paint, not used to having to come out and defend at the 3-point line. It puts a different kind of pressure on TCU's defense.
Samuels lost her footing. And it will go to the Horned Frogs.
NC State at times, Westmore, talk to me about this at shoot around. They get stuck going one-on-one. They over-penetrate, get caught on the baseline, and don't have anywhere to go.
Hunter to the left hand.
She's so good. Multiple times in this game, she has been able to get to the rim off the bounce, and it's a soft touch. High kiss off the glass to finish.
There's that matchup again, Pierre and Suarez, and Marta's able to turn her away. Camille will try again, short, and Miles clears. Miles wants a screen. She gets to the right side, the drive and the pitch. Donovan Hunter for 3.
To end the half, NC State overhelped from the strong side. Marta Suarez hits a 3. Same exact thing on that last play.
Trigger, short corner, rattles that in. Tilda now with 12 to lead the way for NC State. Suarez hits the 3. first here from the Horned Frogs.
She knocked down 3 in the first half, and Pierre still goes under the off-ball screen. At that point, you have to chase her over the top pin.
Matching their biggest lead of the game, and now they can get an even bigger one. Miles on the drive and tried to slither that one between a couple of defenders. They say it was last touched by NC State.
TCU, 3-point U. NC State over helping here. Beautiful find from Olivia Miles to Donovan Hunter. Knocks it down easily. And then here, look, Camille Pierre going under the off-ball screen. That's Marta Suarez's 4th 3. Got to chase her off the line. TCU's hot.
Liv, you always been a bucket. Now you're on the cover of Slam, and it gets released tomorrow. So congratulations.
Wait, for a team that has so much turnover and their ability to use the international market and the portal, great to see moments like that build team chemistry and bonding early in a season. Mark Campbell likes to say we're flying the plane as we build it, as was the case last year and again this season.
We talked to Olivia Miles, and she said she's been able to connect to her teammates, particularly Marta Suarez. Limited and contained so far today, but still a lot of basketball left. She said she feels like this system complements her skill set with the ball screens, the spacing. She's got size setting the screen, and she's coming off a ball screen with a 40% three-point shooter on her side.
Here is Miles, the pull-up 3, got it! Mark Campbell calls her a hoops head. So smart with the basketball. And now they've got their biggest lead of the day. Brooks. Zoe will try again, blocked inside. She has not scored now in 16 minutes. Dating back to the first quarter. Miles beats her to the rebound and lays it up and in. And TCU has quieted one of the raucous crowds in all of college basketball. The strip by Miles. Held ball, goes the other way. They're making all the hustle plays right now.
Yeah, getting it done on both ends of the floor, offensively and defensively. TCU, the momentum that they have found, and this is just hustle. Olivia Miles misses her own shot, gets the rebound, and then the spin that she puts on the reverse layup to get it up and in. And this is where there's a difference in these two teams. And TCU is the oldest team in college basketball. NC State is one of the youngest teams in college basketball, and it's starting to show. The decision-making offensively has been a struggle for NC State in the third quarter.
Can they get it together? Samuels, who has championship experience from her days at Connecticut, earns a trip to the line here. Well, not only is it basketball season, but it's soccer playoff season as well. The NWSL playoffs roll on with a semifinal showdown. Orlando Pride and Gotham FC. That's on ABC. Coming your way this afternoon. Orlando, the defending champs. Gotham trying to get to the finals as the 8th seed.
And Orlando, our producer's favorite team.
Yes. I think we're both pulling for Gotham.
We are. I will
New York roots.
I will pull for Gotham until the team comes to Atlanta, which we are getting a team in 2028.
Winner will take out Washington in the finals. Silva, the Trigger defending. Good help from the freshman Lunan. They need a spark right now on the NC State side.
It was Lunan Beth who provided the spark in the first half defensively, making those plays. And this is where Clara Silva has to grow in terms of quick decision making as a big. You dribble the ball 2 or 3 times, it is perfect territory for a guard to come in and grab it.
Can they get Brooks going? 6 points, but a quiet second and third period. Still cannot get it dialed in.
And that's where adding the 3-point shot consistently will be huge for Zoe Brooks. She was wide open on the flare screen.
Miles keeping that dribble alive to find Kennedy Basham. 5th assist to go with 10 rebounds and 13 points. Under 2 minutes to go in the third, and TCU has taken charge. Hunter. Weak side Brooks. Her 8th rebound. She's got 6 assists as well. Samuel spins baseline. No. Suarez corrals.
So many shots, Beth. How many do you see for NC State that are one-on-one, they're off balance, they're through contact? You have to find some rhythm offensively and get good actions for good looks.
Just 3 of 13 shooting this quarter as Lennon has it knocked away.
We talked about quarterback play to start the game and point guards being the quarterback. Look at the delivery. But maybe a carry missed by the referee. But still, keeping the dribble alive. You know, if the refs don't call it, what do you do?
Look at that vision.
You keep playing through it. Isn't that right, Dee? our rules analyst is next to us, and she's in shock.
Dee Cantner with us courtside. Miles gets her first breather of the game for the final minute of the quarter. They've only played 7 today, but they've been a strong 7. And a double-digit lead here on the road against a top 10 foe as Shear will head to the line.
Depth is something that is important. Mark Campbell talked to us about when it comes to competing with the teams at the top, the teams that consistently win national championships, UConn, South Carolina. A couple of things are important. Depth and size. And he's trying to grow that in his program this season.
They've got 3 players available at 6'7", and obviously they've got the shooters and the floor general. Hey, ACC Network has a doubleheader for you of women's hoops. Georgia Tech, Jacksonville, and Florida State, Indiana. That's on ACC Network. Also available on the all-new ESPN app. Quigley off the bounce. Knocked loose by Bigby. And I think they're going to get Taylor for a reach-in.
That's frustrating because before the foul, it was great on-the-ball defense by Taylor Bigby. Down in a stance, cuts off the strong hand of the driver. That's what it should look like.
Samuels open on the inbound, rush the shot, and it won't go. Just 21% shooting this quarter for NC State, and that has been helpful to TCU's push. Outscoring State 18-9 here in the third. About a 2-second differential, shot and game clocks. And Jones holding up Suarez. Size mismatch there. 7 on the shot clock now. Game clock's off. Excuse me. Shot clock's off. 7 on the game clock.
Good job by TCU at finding that mismatch.
Suarez going to work. A 20-point day for Marta. Beats the buzzer there, and it is a 16-point TCU lead in hostile territory. Here on K-Out Court, big third quarter for TCU to bust this thing open. They outscore State 20-9. Marta Suarez has 20 points. Olivia Miles, 13 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. The big three for NC State are just 3 for 27 from the floor so far. And their 24-game home court win streak in serious jeopardy.
The size, the strength, and the experience of this TCU team starting to show on both sides against NC State.
Sam Jones on the drive. Still cannot find the bottom of the net, and a weak side rebound and stick back for Moreno. Ooh.
Even though this is a tough shot from Sam Jones. Look, one hand finish, but give a Wu credit for getting on the offensive glass. That was so huge in keeping NC State in the game in the first half.
This is the free throw, and Suarez gonna get a foul call for hooking the Wolfpack would-be rebounder. That is her first. Pierre off glass, and she's able to knock it down for just her second basket of the day.
Tough finish from Pierre. Almost ran into her own teammates. Spacing wasn't there. She still gets it in.
Miles denied.
This is where NC State will improve as the season goes on at getting the ball in transition. If nothing's there, getting right into their offense. And Camille Pierre starting to find her offense.
Back-to-back buckets, and now the crowd will try and give them a shot in the arm. Miles. One-handed shot, no. Silva blocked by Sam Jones. And Silva going to be called for the walk. 5-7 just blocked 6-7 for NC State.
Look at the hang time in the air for Sam Jones. Coming down, gets the block on Clara Silva.
Looking to cut a 16-point deficit in half. A Wu cannot convert. Brooks, and that's going to be a kick. No basket, that'll be a kick.
And I appreciate the defensive effort here from Zoe Brooks. Sticking with it. Kickball is unfortunate. The play before that, better decision on the offensive end is needed from NC State.
Pierre jumps into the passing lane. And here comes the Pack on an 8-0 run. Miles trying to quiet them down.
Pierre here anticipating, reading, making a play on the ball for an easy layup. Maddie Shear with the effort on the get back, but Camille Pierre's athleticism on the finish.
Pierre trying to take charge. Long rebound, still a scramble. Nice play by Silva to get it to Miles, and it's knocked out of bounds by Brooks. And Wu may have been injured on the play.
Many players going after it. Yeah, looked like going after the ball there. Yep, shoulder. I certainly hope Awu is okay. She's come in, giving quality minutes. NC State needs another stop here.
They're going to walk her right back into the towards the locker room area. Here's Hunter. Finds Suarez underneath. Good look by Hunter, one of their 3 point guards, according to Mark Campbell.
What a cut. Smart cut. Pierre just falls asleep on the baseline.
Brooks bumped by Shear and a foul. That was on the pass. No. Wait, one of the officials underneath said it was on the pass. Billy Smith. Yeah, and Mike Forsberg had it as a shooting foul. Good job by the officials. They'll get together here, and it was indeed a pass. Zan Jones will take it. Back out to Trieger, spot up 3, no. Pierre with the rebound. And Miles able to knock it out of bounds off of Quigley. Just what both of these coaches wanted, Andre. A little pressure early in the season. What are we made of? Do we have the guts late in the game?
Coach Westmore talked about wanting to see grit from his team. Feels like they can be a tougher team. We've seen toughness from TCU, but give NC State credit. Down by as many as 16, showing fight to start this 4th quarter.
State has already been in a close game with Tennessee and USC. This is the first primetime moment of the year for TCU, and really their only one for the first 2 months of the season. Could be a big tone center for the Horned Frogs. Miles weaving.
It's great defense by Trieger.
Suarez steps by Pierre and knocks it down.
You see Marta Suarez's basketball IQ against Camille Pierre.
Quigley able to score. Yeah, at this end, it's been Suarez getting it done, 24 points.
And it's happened twice recently. I mean, Camille Pierre making great plays on the offensive end, but fell asleep on the baseline and then going for the shot fake.
Well, Pierre got lucky there. She lost Suarez. Zoe Brooks, can she score for the first time since the 1st quarter? No. Turns it over.
And there have been multiple times where NC State guards, even sometimes NC State bigs, they're over-dribbling and they have no plan. They're caught in the air, caught with nowhere to go.
Critical here to make the right decisions now that we've reached clutch time. Final 5 minutes. Miles the hesitation. Silva the rebound. She'll get another go at it and hit it.
Give Clara Silva credit. When you ice, the big has to go with Olivia Miles if she keeps dribbling, and instead of standing still, Clara Silva pursues the basketball, gets the offensive rebound. She's done it a few times.
Double-double now for her, 10 and 10. Yeah, not the best of decisions there for Brooks, and Miles will trot across midcourt. Chance to really create some separation now on this possession. Miles to Silva, and a foul.
The veteran, the experienced Marta Suarez, 24 points, showing her basketball IQ. Shot fake, 1 foot midi, bottom of the net. She's getting it done.
Watch. Sync. Swipe. Personalize. Now available on the ESPN app.
Off an incredible season a year ago when they reached the Elite Eight. It is set up nicely for TCU. Dickies Arena in Fort Worth is one of the regional sites this year. A chance for them to play in front of a home crowd, if you will, in the NCAA tournament. Can they go back-to-back in the Big 12? They're amongst the favorites with Iowa State and Baylor. They will not face only one other ranked foe before February. Their league schedule is back-ended. So this could be a real springboard for an undefeated team early on to keep going that way. Trieger. Can NC State change the storyline here late?
Great find by Kaishi Lewis, keeping her dribble alive. All the defense sucks into the paint, and then Trieger, her ability to knock down that shot, stretches the floor.
Marta Suarez has been the star with 24 points. Make it 26. And a shrug of the shoulders. Hey, can't be stopped today.
The patience and the strength on the inside. 26 points on 10 of 17 from the field. She's been efficient.
And at this end, the TCU defense has held Zoe Brooks and Zam Jones to one of, 21 shooting?
This will be a moment of growth for sure for Zam Jones and Zoe Brooks. And again, you think about the size. TCU is the tallest team in college basketball. Zam Jones just 5'7", finishing, getting good looks. And at times, NC State, they've had to settle for tough shots.
Yeah, Brooks 2 for 13, and Zam is 0 for 9. Miles, 13 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists for Olivia in her first big game at TCU. Lunin around and out.
And I think it's important to note how many pieces on this NC State team are now in new roles. Not just the transfers, but more is being asked of them. Whereas when you look at this TCU team, I know that they're all transfers, but all of the pieces that have come in to fit a system with their specific strengths. So there's a little bit of a fluidity in getting used to this TCU system because they're all asked to do, hey, whatever you did at your old school, that's great. It works in this TCU system. Come do that. NC State, they're having to evolve and they're having to grow and stretch themselves in new ways.
Back to a 10-point game. 2:40 to go. Clock is an ally. Shear, deep three. Mark Campbell did not like that selection. Chance for NC State. Pierre spins into a double, kicks it out to Lunin. Lefty for three, got it! State's not done yet.
If there is a bright spot as well for NC State, the play of Kaishi Lunin on both ends. As a freshman, against the experience of TCU, she has made great plays.
Hunter. State able to speed him up and get the turnover. Pierre. No. Miles with the rebound. Into traffic. And a timeout called by TCU. And now is there a foul as well? Nope, looks like it will be a timeout for TCU. 1:30 to go, and things are getting hot late. .130 to go. TCU's got the ball. What are you looking for on this possession for the Horned Frogs?
Well, TCU has to take care of the basketball. You trust Olivia Miles as a ball handler. Also, Donovan Hunter. Smart. She's a great decision maker. Multiple ball handlers on the floor.
Been a long, long time since they've had a big road win. Trying to lock it down. This is the closest that NC State has been this fourth quarter. And they're going to get a foul, I believe, on Pierre. They still have one more to give. They'll reset the shot clock to 20.
And I like getting the ball in Marta Suarez's hands. Not only has she had the hot hand, but she's such a high basketball IQ.
Suarez is number 7 down the bottom of your screen.
On a high ball screen here. They love this action.
Miles likes to keep it on the right side of the floor. She'll step back, fade, short. Silva, offensive rebound. And with under a minute to go, there's a foul. The 4th on NC State. So the next one would be a shooting foul.
What a job by Clara Silva. Staying involved in the play, getting the offensive rebound, 11 points, 11 rebounds in a huge game on the road.
Boy, and it's so tough to pressure TCU with Miles at the point, but she lost it. Nor are they going to call a foul on her. No, I guess it's just a turnover.
A lot of contact there on that play.
Brooks, the State down 7. Samuels. And now Trigger off the bounce. Silva was able to bother, and TCU's got it. Hunter ahead of the pack. Nice pump fake for the layup.
Give Olivia Miles credit because I thought there was contact at half court. I thought it could have been a foul. It's NC State's ball instead, and then what does Miles do coming back down the court? Finds Donovan Hunter on the other end.
NC State will call a timeout to advance to the front court. And with 30 seconds to go, how about a quick 30-second timeout? Back in a moment.
TCU has said that her favorite player in the WNBA is Chelsea Gray, and I think this would be a pass that Chelsea Gray would appreciate. Full court, bounce pass. Donovan Hunter goes low to get it and then has the poise and is under control to finish on the other end as the defense flies by.
Lunan fouled. Stops the clock at 27.9. Suarez, a big part of the story here with 26 points. And the other part of the story here on the defensive end, they have held Zoe Brooks without a basket since the first quarter. And Zam Jones without a basket for the game. Camille Pierre held to just 4 of 15 shooting. And now the timeout for TCU to advance to the front court. What's your takeaway right now on the play of TCU here this afternoon?
You know, very impressed by TCU. On the road, this is a very difficult place to play, but their experience just started to show, especially the third quarter, late into the fourth quarter. Anytime NC State cut back into the lead, TCU responded.
Yeah.
Even going all the way to the last play of the first half, getting the ball where it needs to go. Marta Suarez knocking down shots, and that's what makes TCU dangerous, is anybody can give you at least 20 points at any given time, and Olivia Miles is so good at finding and setting up her teammates.
They've got 3 grad students in the starting lineup and a 4th-year junior. And they're doing a good job of playing keep away right here.
They're just a smart team.
Yep.
They are.
With the game clock off, a lot of time bled there before the foul was committed, and TCU now feeling it. On the verge of ending NC State's 24-game home winning streak. And on the brink of their first non-conference road win against a ranked foe in 15 years. Miles at 14 points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists. She'll add another point to that, and she now has hit 1,500 points for her storied career. 10-point lead with 10 seconds to go. And for the second year in a row with a almost entirely different lineup, TCU gets a huge win over a ranked opponent in NC State. $69-59 your final. Marta Suarez with 26. Double-double for Miles. Double-digit scoring for Hunter and Silva. Clara also with a double-double today. Tilda Trieger leading the way for NC State with 15.
This is a game where certainly NC State will grow. They've been tested multiple times. Now 3 ranked opponents out of their 4 games, but TCU, the experience, the poise, the system offensively, it all showed today.
So the Wolfpack fall to 2-2, and TCU now 4-0, and they pass their first big test of the year. Marta Suarez, the Spaniard, sharp like the gladiator today.
Oh, wow.
You looked like you were really fired up for this matchup on the road,
yeah.
and played with something to prove this afternoon.
Thank you. I was so ready. I love basketball, man. I love that the season's here. I love that we had a chance to come out and show who we are. We have a phenomenal team. We had a lot of fun playing together, so we were ready for a challenge like this.
A phenomenal team. You also had a phenomenal afternoon. 26 points. How really? Yeah, you didn't know how many points you had?
No, not really.
You had 26 points. How would you describe what was working for you offensively?
Just the team that we have. We have a lot of playmakers, so that's and a lot of shooters, so that opens the court for everybody. And then we have a great shot blocker, a great big in the paint. So then from that, it's whoever's night it is.
And now Coach Campbell also sometimes calls you Turbo. Is that right? Because of your engine. Marta, you played all 40 minutes. Where does that come? Yeah, this is the first time you've been able to take a breath. How were you able to sustain that level of play for 40 minutes?
That was fun. I couldn't keep going. When it's fun like that, the energy just comes, and when you have a team and teammates are just are encouraging you all the time, just makes it easier.
I know you want to give credit to your teammates. I've known you since you were a freshman, but Coach also has talked about how much you take care of your body. How would you describe your routine and your process?
Well, it's a huge part of it. You want to be ready for moments like these, and I'm playing basketball. I'm playing the long game. It's not just about this season, but longevity and where I'm going to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now. I love the game, so taking care of my body, taking care of my mind, taking care of the relationship, the team. That's why I mentioned them so much. It helps my game, I think.
You know as well as anybody, transferring from school to school, what is the key, especially early in a season, to get the kind of chemistry that you guys played with and showed today?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, sometimes I guess a little bit of luck, but then a lot of intentionality, a lot of conversations, a lot of spending time together, trying to get to know each other. I think the fact that we're a veteran team and we have a lot of people that have in transfers, we all understand how relationships are so important and how to pour into it. So doing that, day after day, I think it translates.
Well, congratulations. 26 points in the full 40 minutes for the Spaniard today. Playing like the gladiator. Congratulations.
Thank you so
on
much, guys.
Road
Thank
win.
you.
That's going to do it from here at K-Out Court. Thanks for being with us. We got more hoops still to come. Let's get you back to the studio right now with Taylor and Rebecca.
Welcome into studio, Taylor Tannenbaum alongside the Hall of Famer, Rebecca Lobo. We got to talk, though, about the game that just went down at Reynolds Coliseum. You know as good as anyone, that is a tough place to play. NC State had a 24-game home win streak going until TCU just came in there and won by double digits. What worked for the Frogs today?
A lot worked for the Frogs. And
Yeah.
it's interesting because, of course, Olivia Miles, for good reason, was the big transfer that everyone talked about going to TCU. And she had a great day, 15 points, 14 rebounds. But how about Marta Suarez? She was absolutely phenomenal in this game. And Coach Mark Campbell calls her the Swiss Army knife. Why? We're going to get a chance to see why. She can do a little bit of everything. She was really good from the three-point line today. 4 of 8, really efficient, stepping out. She hadn't been shooting the three ball well coming into this game, but she did today. Moving well without the basketball, finishing inside. She just brought a different level of presence, and you could see sort of her experience coming through. And you heard Andrea Carter mention it during the game. This TCU team has a lot of veteran players on it. They have a lot of maturity. They were not fazed by being in one of the toughest environments in women's college basketball, being in Reynolds.
This was the toughest test to date for TCU this season. As Andrea said, this is the oldest team in college basketball right now in TCU, and that veteran leadership certainly showed up. Now, when you look big picture, Big 12, TCU, why do you feel like they can be dangerous this season?
Because they have everything that you need. This is an unselfish team. They have a little bit more depth than they've had in the past. They can really shoot the three ball. They came into this game averaging about 13 made threes a game, 25 assists per game coming into this one. They share the ball. They can push pace. They have that veteran experience. I think this TCU team could potentially be a legit Final Four team once they continue to gel and put all those pieces together. But you saw today some of the things that they can do and some of the ways the maturity really helps them.
On the NC State side of things, this is a well put together basketball team. Wes Moore, a veteran head coach, and they're expected to do big things in the ACC and beyond. Where did they struggle today, though, at home?
I think they struggled almost everywhere, especially in the backcourt. And they have a terrific backcourt with Jones and Brooks. But today they combined to shoot 2 of 22 from the field. They looked a little bit rattled at times. There was a stretch in the second quarter where they could get out in transition, NC State, and they looked like they were flourishing. Tilda Trieger had a solid game. She played well, anchored them inside. Camille Pierre needs to become a little bit more efficient, but NC State has nice pieces. They have a really tough schedule. This is their 3rd-ranked game in the last 4 games, but certainly their backcourt is going to have to play big for them night in and night out, and they really struggled today.
In contrast to TCU, this is an NC State team that does not have a single senior on their roster. So to your point, they're being tested early. See how that plays out down the stretch of the season.